Alongside our universe exists another dimension.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Every night, we may sit down after a long day of work or school and turn on the television.
And welcome to PTV News.
For a brief moment in time, we get a glimpse of this alternate reality.
Tragedy strikes down Irwood Close tonight.
As we see snippets of our world reflected back to us. But what happens when we step across the threshold, cross through the screen?
Familiar, isn't it?
What happens when we step into the surreal and everything we know starts to break down around us?
Maybe the blame lies with you.
Our story brings us back to the 1980s. The UK begins deregulation of the television and radio industry, and an influx of competitors sparks a sell-off of assets and divisions of the BTV just to stay in business. The public was kept unaware of the real motives behind the sell-offs, however. Behind the scenes, a new branch of the BTV was established, with a focus on experimental research. We are plugged into the unknown and cross the literal threshold into another dimension, armed with nothing but our camera. The studio seems to be self-aware as we wander deeper into the halls. Is there something it's trying to show us?
Maybe the blame lies with you.
Button on the right. No, on the side. Yes, that's it. Right, we're just going to check the feed is calibrated. If you look up to the camera in the left for me. Great. Now the other one. Now if you just move to your left and stand on that green tarp over there, we're just going to check the cable spool works. There's a zoom feature on the camera. You could just focus on me up in the control room.
Now that's all set up, we're ready to begin. You know what to expect. We've briefed you as much as we can and will guide you from the control room where needed.
Stand on the X for us at the center of the rim. Green light means go. Head through the door when you're ready, and good luck.
Welcome back, all you backpackers of the backrooms, photographers of the phenomenal, cameramen of the complex, and lovers of all things liminal. I can't wait to share this with you. We have this camera. We're about to jump into another dimension and get a little liminal. CAMERAMAN, the pilot episode. Where the hell did we just get off to? Really interesting how they've incorporated this like TV station into kind of the liminal like backrooms theme, and also with the found footage kind of elements that I really love in my like analog horror kind of videos. Why is it getting dark? And another thing that we don't often see is games that implement the use of the fourth dimension, and you'll see in a little bit how this game does that, and it's really creative. Anomaly detected. The BTV logo seems to be emitting a strange energy. Try looking at it for a few seconds.
Tonight on BTV News, the Iran-Iraq war comes to a resolution as the nation's leaders prepare for peace talks.
There's liminal photos in there too.
Good evening, and welcome to the 7 o'clock news. Following an increase in folks tuning in at home, BTV headquarters is currently undergoing a full redevelopment to suit viewer demand.
Ah. How convenient. I wonder how that works. Like, so we had this little broadcast, and it's like, that was the room, or like these rooms making an adjustment to itself to allow me to pass forward through this path here. Very, very strange. Very unnerving. But that's what we love. Static outlines highlight rewindable objects in the environment. Focus on the highlighted object with your camera and use the mouse buttons to rewind and fast forward. Let's check this out. Who is that? They're going to be implementing the use of other dimensions. We can move it backward through time and forward through time. They do get into some more complex ideas a little bit further on, so we'll see that. This is just like a simple object that I feel like you could just push or pull yourself, but they really just kind of want to introduce the idea. Yeah. Slowly walk us into the uncanny valley, so to speak, which is really fascinating. And they can do, like this, it's just a small sample of what's to come in this game. Yeah, and we get more of this. Walking on walls, I don't know which way's up. You tell me. But what is this crazy place? So I hope you enjoy the new format that I'm displaying the screenshots with. We have a little thumbnail to show in the corner, and I wanted to make the viewing experience a little more cinematic. So I'm going to try this out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Oh. Luckily this is a reinforced window. That might have gone badly. Oh boy. I love how you can see the desk in the bottom corner that's like on the floor, like clearly showing we're on the wall. But then there's this like rigging and stuff with the monitors pointing towards, yeah, the ceiling. Oh, it's so strange. All these little desks and workspaces. That's a nice one. Alright. Let's head to the floor, I guess. We have another time... another object we can manipulate here.
And the
we got a broadcast.
Many more office jobs. Office appliances and supplies costs are hitting the ceiling to meet the demand. Can smaller businesses keep their heads above water in this ever-changing economic climate? Venting frustrations can be good for us. Psychologists and therapists have determined that finding a release for our pent-up frustrations can be good for the body. So, take up boxing or find a new hobby that gives you release. But whatever you do, try this vent strategy. It is a path we all should take.
Very clever. The vent strategy. It's a path we all should take, and then the vent is the key to the puzzle here. That's really funny. Alright, this looks like an old record player, old audio deck. Wish. That's super fun. We have to move our cart over here. See, what I would like to see is... Move that all the way over. And I think we just gotta climb up this. There we go. It's a little bit hard to get up on that. What I would like to see is, because this is kind of an object where, you know, I could just pull this down the hallway. Unlike the record player. Well, I mean, even that's just an object that I could move to the side with my hands. It'd be cool to see. That was cool to see. It'd be cool to see more things that, like this one, where you like warp it and it goes back up onto the ceiling. Stuff like that. But even this, like, I could... Actually, no, this is a good point because, like, maybe there's screws or some kind of clips holding the vent in that I wouldn't be able to get it with my hands, but I need to use the time interpolation to solve the puzzle. That's really cool. Cool and clever. I love it. So let's have a look around this room before we venture into the dark. And why did that monitor fall? This looks like a room we were in earlier, maybe, that we're now getting a different perspective on. Life. I don't know if I got that shot, but we're gonna get that there. Hey, I'm back. The camera lost signal for a second. Did you hear that? Whoa. It's so weird how it seems like the camera is what's affecting the gravity and like wielding it almost like an SCP. Where, like, while we're in possession of this camera, we have the ability to...
Venting frustrations can be good for us. Psychologists and therapists have determined that finding a release for our pent-up frustrations can be good for the body. So, take up boxing or find a new hobby that gives you release. But whatever you do, try this vent strategy. It is a path we all should take.
Let's see if I can deselect this, yeah. Maybe. Oh, that'll be kind of neat anyway. Get it where it's like hovering in midair. See, and now, before, we were on the ceiling in this room, and we've just gone into that little space through the vent. And walked onto the floor itself and now walked back into the room through the door, as you normally would. But then you look down here and there's still like upside down world portions. It's really, really neat. And all this like old 80s and 90s computer equipment. Very, very neat. I remember having an old I think it was a Compaq. That was our first computer. Then we got a Gateway in one of those like cow patterned boxes. The 2000s.
New energy reforms from the government are driving environmentalists up the wall. With spurs of anger and frustration rife within their community, is this the trigger they needed to become relevant in climate change affairs? It is not always the straightforward path that works the best. Will this switch up the wall change the gravity of the situation? There is only one way to find out. Do you feel like you're being watched?
Yes.
It's because you are. With the tensions of the Cold War rising, government surveillance is at an all-time high. For your average Joe, that's no problem. A little extra security never hurts. But for those of you wondering where you shouldn't, trouble could be on its way.
Ooh,
Bad
very,
news for all you coffee
very
lovers out
foreboding.
there. After the ravaging of lands across Vietnam during the war, the coffee fields are no more. Known for their Robusta beans, Vietnam
Looks like
is
we
the
gotta get
second
that way
largest
somehow.
source of the UK's coffee beans. This will leave more than a few cafes empty, and if you're out there looking for a coffee, just be prepared to pay a higher price than usual. Chairs are the jewel of High Wycombe, a town that has been a trading hub since it received its market borough status in the year 1222. Join us as we ask resident chairmaker Arthur Hughes what it truly takes to bring a chair to life. What it means to have it flow and move with the ambience of a room. Join us after the break.
It's so interesting how the broadcasts kind of throw little subtle hints at you, like they're almost aware of you in the room. All right, let's have a go, eh? And we find ourselves in an even more bizarre and puzzling realm with a path of televisions lining the floor and a door that leaves me quite curious to see what's on the other side. And I know you're curious too, so thank you for joining me for Cameraman, the pilot episode. This has been the demo. You can check it out on Steam. I got the link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and subscribe. I hope you like the new format to the video we have here. I had a lot of fun making it. We're going to slow down on the release schedule a little bit, but you're going to get a lot more quality in these videos, and it'll be a little bit more of a digestible viewing experience. So I really love the mix of the world kind of behind your TV screen and the liminal spaces and how they've brought them together to create this really weird broadcast studio, and the way that they implement like multiple dimensions beyond just like the 3D ones that we inhabit is really cool to see. I know that lots more games are starting to kind of dabble into that a little bit, and if you enjoy 4 dimensions and your liminal spaces, I know you're going to enjoy this game, so check it out. Again, give me some feedback on the new format, and we'll see you next time. Stay liminal.